This morning, I'm going to start my day like David Goggins, former Navy SEAL, ultramarathon runner, best-selling author, and the man who once did over 4,000 pull-ups in a single day. It's going to be painful, tough, and brutally intense. Information about Goggins' routine varies across different sources, so I've compiled the key points and created an approximate schedule that I will follow today. Let's go. 5 a.m. I wake up like David Goggins, no snoozing, no just 5 more minutes. To make sure I didn't oversleep, I set 2 alarms. For Goggins, waking up early isn't just a habit. It's a ritual that gives him a mental and physical edge. I get dressed and already feel wrecked. I slept less than 5 hours because I went to bed too late. Not exactly a smooth start. I head to the kitchen, pour a glass of water and drink it. While sipping water, I think about the day ahead. It's already hard and I start to doubt whether I can complete today's challenge. In my head, waking up early at least seemed easier, but it's not. On the other hand, I did push through and got up. Goggins says you have to do what you hate if you want to achieve your goals. I drank several glasses of water. I think it's for the best because I'm going to sweat a lot today. 5:30 a.m. I move on to warm up and stretching, a mandatory part of David Goggins' morning routine, and now part of mine. This is exactly what helps prevent injuries. I always remind you of this in my videos because I've dealt with injuries myself, and here's Goggins himself confirming it. Stretching is crucial. He spends 30 minutes on it every day, and now I understand why. It's not just a light warm-up, it's the foundation that prepares the body for serious physical stress, especially with intense cardio coming up. I focus particularly on stretching my legs since I've got a lot of running ahead of me today. By the way, it's already starting to get light outside. I was sure I'd be training in complete darkness. I drank another glass of water, changed into warmer clothes, and prepared a sport drink in advance. I'm not sure why, but somehow I feel like it will help me feel less thirsty. I put on my running shoes and got my second phone. Today it's my personal trainer. I will use it to track the distance. I hit start and I'm off. My goal is 4 kilometers. Why that distance? First, I have zero preparation, and I honestly just hope to manage at least that much. Second, I plan to switch to the bike later. Goggins includes cycling in his morning's routine too. For reference, he usually runs 10 to 15 miles every morning. That's around 16 to 24 kilometers, but I'm keeping it modest for now, 2.5 miles. And I already feel like a hero. It started off strong and I even had the thought, wow, this isn't so bad, but that feeling didn't last. Within a few minutes, my breathing was off. My legs started burning and I realized I'd have to alternate between running and walking, or I would just collapse on the roadside. Along the way, I saw the football fields being watered. It looked unexpectedly cool. Whew, I ran just over a kilometer. Not much left now. Wish me strength, I'm pushing on. By the way, I found a running track here. Check this out. The red route is 656 meters. The blue one is 457 and the gray one is 242. I think the red one's only real option. You know why. The weather is absolutely perfect. Cool, fresh, exactly what you want for a morning run. But I'm sweating like crazy, and if I stop now, I will freeze. So stopping is not an option. Also, running with a backpack is total chaos. So I'm leaving it here with the camera, and I will just take my phone and keep going. All in the name of comfort and survival. But after a while I ended up coming back. I thought, what if someone snatches my phone? Yeah, there was literally no one outside. It was completely quiet. But I decided not to take any chances. Just in case, I carefully hid the backpack in the bushes, out of the way, but still under some watch. Now I can finally run in peace. After finishing my run, I decided to drink some water. My body was clearly asking for a break. Unfortunately, during the run, my knee started to ache quite a bit, and even my hip joint began to act up. To avoid making things worse, I made the sensible decision, no need to play the hero, I would just walk home calmly. Once I got back, an idea suddenly hit me. Why not combine something useful with something pleasant? I took my stash, took out some coins, and thought, why just ride to the bike for the sake of it, when I could go to a farm and bring back some fresh eggs, and at the same time cook myself a proper breakfast. Oh, by the way, Goggins rides up to 25 miles every morning, whether it's on a real bike or a stationary one. I set a slightly more modest goal for myself, 10 kilometers, which is about 6 miles. Honestly, even that would be a win for me. On the way, I even gave a treat to a pony, or was it a small horse? Let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it enjoyed. While riding, I started to notice how sharply the temperature had dropped. A strong wind had picked up and I was still soaked from the run. But the scenery around me was so nice that, for a moment, the ride felt a bit easier. That didn't last long though. Luckily, I had the foresight to bring a warm hoodie and a hat. I changed changed right there, threw on the hoodie and hat, and continued toward my goal feeling a bit more comfortable. The road was uneven with some uphill sections, and the strong wind kept blowing straight into my face, slowing me down, but I made it. Here you can see a milk vending machine. You insert coins, choose whether you want a liter or half a liter, and it gives you fresh milk. But that's not what I came for. I came for chicken eggs. They should be right here. Oh no, they are not. Seriously, empty. Usually there are always eggs here, but apparently since it's early Sunday morning, they just haven't been delivered yet. That's a bummer, I'm disappointed. Oh well, time to head home. Next I decided to take a nice shot, but just then a car nearly hit the camera. Good thing I hadn't gone too far and noticed it in time. By the way, it had noticeably warmed up outside. The sun came out and I actually started to enjoy the ride. Finally, completely soaked in sweat, tired and hungry, I made it back home. In an hour I managed to cover just over 10 kilometers. For my level that's already a win. After that straight to the shower. I decided to go with a contrast shower, warm water then cold. And back and forth like that. You can see how my body reacted in the footage. The emotions were intense. Well, next up, breakfast. Right on schedule. For Goggins, protein is priority. It helps with muscle recovery and restoring energy. So today I'm having fried eggs. Yes, turns out I had some at home all along. Bread with butter and cheese. And a cup of hot tea. In addition to intense workouts, David Goggins dedicates time every day to reading. For him, it's a way to build discipline, mental resilience, and broaden his perspective. He chooses motivational books and biographies that helps him grow as a person. For him, it's just as important a part of the day as training. In my case, I went with a book focused on improving my English because personal development comes in different forms. Next up, work. Honestly, I don't even know how I made it through this morning. Sleep deprived, I started the day with intense cardio. I'm absolutely not used to. It was tough, both physically and mentally. I really do want to start working out in the mornings, but like many people, the challenge is in overcoming yourself. That's why moving forward, I will approach it more mindfully, with gradual adaptation and a reasonable workload, because after today's unusual training, my leg is already starting to hurt. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and drop your ideas for the future episodes in the comments. Thanks everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye!